Thank you for joining us for this webinar dedicated to supply chain execution today. The session will last around 30 minutes and will be followed by some questions and answers. For the moment, all microphones are on mute, and they will be unmute at the end of the session. I am Sophie from Central Product Management Team, in charge of the distribution skills on Sage ERP-X3. And today I would be accompanied by Emmanuel Baudard from the R&D team, who is in charge of the supply chain execution software, Demo Geode.
Good morning, everybody.
Our presentation will be structured in 3 parts: a general overview of the connector, a product demonstration of the connector, and a session of Q&A. This summer, we launched the version 6.1 for Sage Geode. The version includes a number of new features and golden features, including a major feature regarding the connectors between Sage ERP-X3 and Sage Geode. These connectors have been developed by R&D team, and they are going to be maintained also by R&D team. And the purpose today is to inform you about its availability first, of course, right now, and also to introduce it and show some flows between Sage ERP-X3 and Geode. We will push this offer supply chain execution to face competition from ERP, having house management module, either vertical solution or as a module of the ERP. The target today is not to show you the version 6 of Geode, but to be focused on Sage ERP-X3 and the connectors between Sage ERP-X3 and Sage Geode. So don't be frustrated. I'm quite sure that the next session, the next webinars about Geode will be focused on the features of the Sage Geode new version, the 6.1 version. So you have different examples of problems managed by a WMS in the logistics area. First, WMS can manage workloads for all the operations regarding logistic operations, of course. That means receiving, shipping, and inventory. And first, to anticipate the people and equipment required, for example, to complete after the pickings. Because of its algorithm for choosing stocks to be taken, and because of the perfect knowledge of physical layout and inventory, necessary travel in the warehouse are banned. We can combine, for example, pooter when picking, meaning different type of flows. Often the warehouse must perform, prepare, ship custom orders, request times and volumes. Of course, the perfect knowledge of the inventory reduce errors preparations, and that means shortage during the preparation step. The stock units, pallets, and boxes are always tracked, and we can know qualitative and quantitative characteristics about those logistic units. That means about, for example, if you manage pallets, or about boxes if you manage only boxes, depending on the activity of the warehouse. The picking process is generally the core activity of a warehouse management system, and because it is the heart of the core activity also of a warehouse. However, other WMS modules are sometimes fundamental when the activity requires a warehouse management system. That means because you have to manage high volume of items. For example, if you have seasonal work or co-packing activities before launching the picking, if you are, for example, in the 3PL activities. Other type of requirements can be about those materials. If you are in a house managing hazardous materials, you have to be guided by the WMS in order to print the good labels and respect the different type of storage inside the warehouse. To position a WMS, we have to share features between ERP and WMS, because I'm sure that you know that WMS is always interfaced with an ERP, is always communicating with an ERP. So, and maybe it cannot be so evident for people and distributors of ERP because they have to determine and to well know the borderline between an ERP and a WMS. A WMS covers the same areas as the inventory module of an ERP, and that means that the ERP is able to manage receipt, inventory, picking, and shipping. What is completely changing with WMS is the depth of each functional module, because the WMS is intended to stick to physical movements and to comply with the methods of preparation the most optimized to pick orders better and faster. This core business will regulate the flows. For example, goods will be stored as close to the picking locations, especially for items with a high velocity. We want to avoid travels between the warehouse, between reserve locations, very far from the picking location. Or another type of example would be, for example, to put away items on shipping docks during the receipt flows, if they are requested by customers, of course, to short-circuit the addressing in the reserve location. A type of example, stock counts can be done without interrupting operations. Shipping units can be checked during the loading phase in order to control they are in the right trucks. So you understand that with WMS, we are always depending on different physical flows we have to do. It means that we have to know in the WMS all the time where are the physical logistic units people have to take, to put away, to ship, load, and so on and so on. In all areas, the WMS goes further because it is managing the physical layout, taking into account each step related to physical, ensuring a full traceability of all the different movements, all the different places and locations. And when talking about locations, it's not only picking locations or reserve locations, but it could be, for example, when you do a replenishment between reserve location and the picking location, maybe you put away the pallets in a slot, in a dock, in an area, in a logical area, and with a WMS, you know all the times where are the different objects and stock objects. Finally, who now needs a WMS? Manufacturers, retailers, logistics providers, when constraints of volume to be treated, or and traceability constraints, so sectors related to chemistry, cosmetics, foods, hazardous materials, etc. Generally, those sectors rely traceability. Volumes, regarding volumes, it may involve the item database or very large warehouses, for example, or number of orders inside the database or number of parcels shipped. In short, the companies that have volume and quality problems to solve. You know this slide. It is a slide regarding SafeX3, which is a common and technical platform for ERP and WMS regarding X3. Same technology, that means same installation procedures, same administration tools via the console, for example, same user features based on workflow, same possibility to then presetted business processes, for example, same templates for import and export, and so on and so on. All the same technology, the same user interface, which simplifies the process of adoption when you implement Sage Geode with Sage ERP X3. Yeah, a small animation on the slide. So, what I propose today is to have the operational power of Sage ERP X3, the precise execution of Sage Geode, and can communicate with an add-on developed by R&D team for Sage ERP X3 and client according to the standard services packs of version 6. The session today is delivered on the Web Assistance portal. That means that you can upload it on the Sage Assistance portal or order it via your usual contact in the sales administration team. The Sage ERP X3 price list, you now have two modules of WMS, and I'm talking about Sage ERP X3 price list. Have two modules, regular and optimum, corresponding to the levels of functionalities more or less advanced, and so you have a line regarding the X3 connector. Price levels of these modules suit particularly to meet the needs of our prospect and our targeted customers, and we made a huge effort to try to enter in the common standard list of Sage ERP X3. So before proceeding to the demonstration, I just want to show you the division of responsibilities between a WMS and an ERP. And of course, this type of responsibility are always used when we talk about ERP and WMS, whatever the suppliers of ERP and WMS. Don't forget that 100% of WMS are working with an ERP. And the ERP has generally the responsibility of logic inventory and give the execution of orders to WMS. The logical inventory is grouped by different type of qualitative characteristics, also by quantity. So, for example, if you manage blocking codes, you have a view of inventory grouped by blocking codes. The orders to execute are transmitted by the ERP by the WMS and then updated in the ERP regarding what finally the WMS did or not did. So, in practice, you have here all the different operational flows between Sage ERP X3 and the execution of the WMS. That means, for example, that ERP is in charge of the creation of purchase order, customer order, inter-site transfer, sales order, item. The ERP is in charge of the creation of items. The flows are transmitted and communicated to Sage Geode, and Sage Geode is going to organize the flows with a physical notion of the execution. So now we are going back to the demonstration, and we'll see a parallel between the two applications, ERP-X3 and Sage Geode. I think it is easy to recognize both applications because even if it is the same layout, because both applications are on the version 6, you can see that E3 has a blue color of the screen and Geode has an orange color of the screen. So you can recognize them with the color, but the target is also to show you the different ways to send flows between the ERP and the Geode. So we just ask you maybe a few seconds because we have to pass a hand to Emmanuel, and he has to show you the different elements. I have to wait for the wake up of the laptop of Emmanuel. A few seconds. So let's go, Emmanuel. I think now we are ready to show you the application and the main flows between X3 and Geode. We have business processes developed in order to show you the flow. Maybe I forgot to tell that we're going to show you the architecture between the both applications, and we have an example for purchase order and the execution of purchase order. We have another one regarding sales order and the process of picking. Even if we are not going to show you the different way to pick an order in Geode, okay, this is not the target today. And last point, we are going to talk about stock adjustment regarding the items in the warehouse.
Okay, so thank you, Sophie. So I will show you some purchasing flows, and some stock flows. So let's start with the purchase order flow. So here you have the process on the system. So first of all, we create a purchase order on the ERP-X3. The order is sent to Geode, and Geode side we have with the reception, and we do the string in addition, and after that with the strings we have a reception written to Sage ERP-X3. Okay. So let's start. Create my order purchase order. So I'm on purchasing site MBI supplier. So you see that you have a status here. WMS indicates if this order needs to be sent or related to Geode. So for the moment, I don't under some product line. The system does not know. So I select product. Take some time. Okay. Quantity. So for example, 10. So I create a line.
So this is a standard process to create a purchase order inside Sage ERP X3.
So you can see that the system finds that this product is managed, the stock of this product is managed on Geode and not on Sage on the ERP. I will explain how it works. So now what is done, I will validate and create my order. Okay, so there is an order code number, sorry, and you have the status to be transmitted. So it means that this order is ready to be transmitted to Geode. So you have an automat. We scan all entity on the ERP and we'll send this order to. Okay, just before going to just to focus on some configuration, just to know its work. So we have on site level, we have information to indicate if this site is dedicated to so here is my site, and on the detailed information, my site is managed stock, so I can give responsibility of the stock to the WMS, so to Geode, and also in this case I need to indicate generic location on X3, on ERP X3.
It means that you can manage, for example, two sites, one with a WMS, connected to a WMS, and another one with Sage ERP X3. Those you don't need, if you have, for example, not constraint of volume of traceability in a site, you can manage it with a stock module of X3, and for another one which needs a WMS, you can manage it with a WMS like Geode. It means that regarding the display of inventory in X3, you have inside just one location regarding all the inventories managed by a WMS, and for the other sites you will have, for example, all the locations managed by Sage ERP X3, because in the site you don't have a WMS.
So So the site we have on the product category. So on this product category also I can indicate this category reserved for WMS. And after that, on my product, so I go on my product, and if I go on the product side, so we have mentioned here it's the responsibility is given to Geode. Okay. So now we'll get to Geode side. So outside I will do my receipt. So here I create directly an administrative receipt.
That's a step. Of course, that means that the deliveries have been done by the supplier. Okay, physically the truck is arrived in my warehouse. The quantity have been added from the truck, and we are going to do the receipt inside Geode.
So here we have my order, because my purchase order. So I select it. So all information. I do my creation. And we perform my reception. So here I was for example I have our 10, I will receive only 8. Right. For reception, we done. So you have a trace, and you see that automatically Geode we address this stock in the specific location, this store and this location.
So the target once again is not to try to explain you today how Geode does find a location, why he choose this location, the different ways to do the receipt and so on, but to go through the flow in order to have the feedback of the purchase order receiving and send it to X3.
So I have done the reception, and Geode gives me a location, store the stock. So now I need to physically put the stock on the correct location and validate when it's done. So I confirm that the stock has been put in this location. So now I have done the storing. So there is some information come back to X3 to indicate the quantity receipt on this purchase order, and they will generate a reception on X3. So just to use some thing on Geode. So on Geode you can so you can check the stock. So we have the store, the address, and the quantity 8 in stock on Geode side. So for the moment, the stock was not incremented on sale X3. So let's go to sales ERP X3. So I will just check. For example, I can check on my purchase order. Where is the status? Just No, not yet. So the automat working and scanning on the outside, so I need to wait a few seconds.
You have to know that all these types of flow are completely desynchronized in real life between purchase administration team, for example, and logistic warehouse. Of course, for example, purchase order can be entered in January, for example, and finally the physical receipt can be received 2 months later. Okay, so the target was to show you the flows, so they are completely known one to each other, but in the real life it's a little bit different depending on the different delivery dates you have, depending on the time you take to load and control the receipt and so on and so on.
Okay, so the reception has been received on ERP 3. So you see that it's a part 3 receipt, okay, because I received 8 until on the 10. So if I go on reception screen, so I can check this one. It's my reception with the quantity received.
So in the standard flow of X3, you have purchase order and reception. The reception have been updated directly by the communication from Geode in order to create a receipt inside X3.
So yeah, if you have a look on the stock, so site and product, this one, you can see now I have 8 and 2 remaining on the purchase order. And if I check the stock, I see that we have the stock only one location. Previously explained my fee and with quantity 8. Otherwise, you can check movement. So here we have a movement of reception done. If I go to product, I'll show you that on products. So if I go on my product site, MBI, so the stock, so current stock, and also I have on calculated data tab, I have the stock on the Geode side. So you see that we have the stock. We have no stock in contract quality and no stock on rejected. Okay, it's related to the stock status on Sage ERP X3.
Okay, so thank you. Now we are going to show you the sales process regarding the different steps between X3 and Geode.
So I will create a new sales order. Write LBA, reference test. And okay, so here we have a status also regarding WMS, not managed at this time. So I will enter my product quantity 2, for example. And so I can allocate the allocation in global or in details as I want. enter and creation. Automatically, the line has been allocated, okay, and this allocated line has been sent to Geode, do the shipment. Okay, and you see that the status is to be transmitted, so ready to be transmitted, and we let the automat work to send it to Geode.
In that case, Geode is going to receive executable delivery orders, because we allocate the stock in the inventory in free before sending them to Geode.
Okay. So just expression. So if you have several lines, ERP3, we only send the related to product where stock is on Geode side. The line where the stock is still managed on ERP3 will stay here and will not be sent to Geode. Okay, and then do the shipment in ERP3 as you want.
That means that you don't have to split for customer orders depending on the place on the sites we are going to pick them and prepare them and dispatch them.
Okay. Takes me some time. Okay.
So now we are going to finish the press inside Geode. We are waiting finally for the sending of the delivery orders inside Geode. Again, in the real life, it does work like that. That means that you are not going to send orders and to wait for orders inside the WMS, because the target of a WMS is to optimize the picking of sales order. That means that, for example, you are going to group delivery orders and sales orders in order to launch waves, and to pick different orders at the same time, regarding the resources and the equipment you have inside the warehouse. But the target here is to explain in detail, step by step, the flows in order to well understand where the responsibilities are between an ERP and the WMS.
So the status has been updated, so it's transmitted, so it means that the export file has been sent to Geode. So if I go on Geode side and see the same flow, so now we need to do the preparation and the shipment. So I'm doing the preparation, so I create a wave where I will attach my order. So I have it, this one. Selected, okay. So and create my vacation, my wave, and I will launch it. And Geode will allocate my location where our stock are. So now I have preparation. Now I need to validate the user pick the stock.
Yeah, so physically, of course, the picker goes to the location, finds the item, picks the quantity, and now how to validate picking orders. And of course, this task can be done on a laptop, on a screen, like Emmanuel showed you now, but it can be also done by radio frequency procedure.
So my the order on Geode side is ready to be so ship it automatically. Some interface will be sent back to X3 to ERP X3 to create a shipment.
The main steps inside the Geode for the picking process is to launch a wave, to pick the orders, and to ship the delivery orders. And we can add some other ones depending on the control. You want to have do physical process, but the main mandatory ones are those ones. That's why we have to go through before sending the information to X3.
So it's a very note report print, so I don't care about it.
And as you have noticed, I'm sure, we are on a web client on the BOSS application. Of course, it's not mandatory. You can have client server for the BOSS application, but here you have a web interface.
So let's to show you on Geode side now the stock. So I was 8. It was 8. Now it's 6. Okay, so we ship to 2 pieces. So let's go on CGP. So I will check shipment. So maybe it should be this one. Yeah. So we have received this shipment. Okay, with 2 quantity chip.
So the shipment has been created by Geode inside ERP X3.
So if I go on my product, so and check on my product side the stock. So you see still 8, 2 in order, and if we calculated, we have only 6, because physically we have only 6. Finish. Just to finish this on the sales order flow, so the vector is able to manage also the customer return flow. So it means that we can return some part to the customer, to the warehouse.
Side,
yeah. And it will generate an expected input on the Geode side to do the reception on the site. Okay. So just finished. So I will do a stock adjustment. So for the stock adjustment is done on Geode side.
Because Geode is responsible for the detail location and the stock in each detail location.
Okay. The ERP can give order, sales order, purchase order, but all stock movement has been initiated by a Geode side. So I will create an adjustment. So on my location,
their life in that case is that someone in the warehouse the check count or during a process of receipt or picking, for example, control that finally in location maybe the quantity is wrong. So I don't know if Emmanuel is going to do a qualitative adjustment or quantitative adjustment. Yeah, quantitative adjustment. So that means that we can stock in location, in this location, GEN and A01A, and we look and we remark that finally the stock is wrong. So we have to adjust the quantity in Geode, and Emmanuel is going to adjust it.
So here I'll do a decrease quantity on the stock object. So it's 6, but basically it's 5. So I do a decrease of 1. So stock now is decreased on Geode side, and all file and interface has been sent to Sage ERP. So let's go on ERP side. Go to stock.
What is important to say here maybe is that the adjustment can be quantitative for discrepancies, for example, or qualitative. That means that if you want to manage, for example, second choice items or manage qualitative block codes or qualitative control and so on, the same flow are used. That means that store updated inside Geode and transfer to X3.
So we have the movement. So the decrease, so we generate a miscellaneous issue on Sage ERP X3 side. Okay. If I perform some increased quantity, I will generate miscellaneous receipt. Okay. Here we have decreased the stock on Sage ERP X3. I have finished for this demonstration.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Now this is your turn. I'm going to unmute the screen and all the microphones, sorry. And if